It's Wisconsin winter, cold, snowy. I want to go someplace warm, maybe the tropics or even the desert. Good news, I'm in Milwaukee, so I can do both. Today finds me in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the famous Mitchell Park Domes. There are 3 domes. You can only see 2 of them here. But when they were built in the early 60s, they were said to be the world's first conoidal domes. Conoidal meaning cone shape. Although they don't look like cones to me, they look like half a sphere. In fact, when I was a little kid, I thought they looked like army helmets, and that's how I referred to them. But regardless of how we refer to them, they are quite impressive. I almost slipped and fell on the ice. We better get inside, because as impressive as they are from the outside, you ain't seen nothing yet. It looks like there's banquet trucks here. I hope I can still get in. I'm a little concerned there might be a private event here today. On a cold day like today, let's start in the tropics. This may not have been the best dome to start in on a cold day. It's so humid in here that my lens keeps fogging up. You can probably see it happening as I'm talking to you, but it's beautiful. I also think I'm going to be really hot with my winter coat on, but we'll see. They provided this nice self-guided tour. You don't keep it, you put it back when you're done, but it's going to take you through all of the domes and point out different things of interest. It's just so hard to keep my lens clear. Hard to believe we're seeing all of this in a Wisconsin winter. You can see this goes up and up and up, and there's some ventilation way at the top. I think it's hard to fully appreciate the magnitude of this place. These are full-grown trees, and they could still probably grow twice as tall as they are right now. Look at all this moss growing on rock. Really beautiful. This is named Mitchell Park, named for the man who donated the land, John Mitchell. And Mitchell is also famous for one other thing. He was the father of General Billy Mitchell, who was a father himself, the father of the United States Air Force. Matter of fact, the Milwaukee Airport is named Mitchell Field after him, but we'll save that for another video. And here we see the front side of water. That fish looks like an old grandpa. I find it fascinating that no matter where I go, if there's water, people throw money in it. It says we should be on the lookout for these 3 animals. Orange bishop's weaver, which is a bird flying around, koi fish, which we just saw, and poison dart frogs. Let's see if we can find those frogs. I haven't seen that frog yet, but there's a lot more to cover. Hey, let's see if this one works. Turn the crank, push a button.
Dome allows us to demonstrate the 4 layers of plant life that exist in tropical rainforests.
Well, I got it to work, but it was kind of hard to crank, listen, and operate my camera all at the same time. But you get the idea. If you come here, you can learn a lot by those little stops, the little crank boxes. I don't know what they're officially called, but crank box is as good a name as any. And look at this. It is a little fairy village. And there we see more koi. Some water plants. These are called air plants. They attach themselves to other plants. They don't need soil to grow. But what happened to this tree? This used to be the tallest tree in the dome. As a matter of fact, they said that it reached all the way to the top. Before long, they discovered the root system was not deep enough to support such a large tree. And they were afraid it was going to become a danger to people like me who are trying to enjoy the dome. So they had to cut it back. And that's all that's left of it. But I still haven't found that frog. Well, top of the morning to you. It's the shamrock. Now that's surprising. All the shamrocks I've seen have been green. I didn't know they had that color to them. Oh, and what is this over here? It looks like there's some fruit on that plant. That is a cocoa tree. How about that? Now I think that's my favorite tree in the whole place because I like chocolate and hot cocoa and just about everything else related to the cocoa tree. That rotting fruit on the ground is here to attract and feed the poison dart frog. I really want to see the poison dart frog. They're really little, so you got to keep your eyes peeled, but I'm going to keep looking. And I suppose that's here to feed the orange bishop's weaver, which I haven't seen around either. They even have QR codes throughout so you can find out more about the plants. Look at that. They work. It says a papaya is now in fruit. Let's follow it up and take a look. I know we're not allowed to sample, but it'd be kind of fun to crawl up there and grab one, wouldn't it? I really love the tropics, but boy, am I getting hot. Let's cool off by going to the desert. Let's find out. At least it won't be as humid. Look, they have a penny press. Various Milwaukee attractions, the Mitchell Park Domes, Bradford Beach, and the parks in general. And it is much more comfortable here in the desert. I took my coat off before I came in here because I was so hot from the tropics, but it's actually really comfortable in here, so I put the coat back on. It's a little cool. I would imagine it's maybe in the 60s. Comfortable to walk around. And it looks like they have different desert regions. Lots of different types of cacti. And you have to be careful with these. I have been fooled more than once. Not here at the park, but cactus in the wild. I've got pricked a time or two. They look so tempting to touch, just like little grapes. But it says, please do not touch. Called a burro's tail. I once heard a story about that plant, but that's another tale. All right, we have another crank box. This one looks newer.
Welcome to the Desert Dome. This half of the dome is New World. Each plant species can survive drought, intense sun, wind, and extreme temperature ranges. These plants are called cacti. The New World cacti are only found in North America, South America, and Central America.
I guess that's all he had to say, but I did see some birds flying around. And apparently birds aren't the only animals they allow in here, but they must have forgot to feed the cattle. Here's our list of things to find. A pith helmet, America the Beautiful. I see the pith helmet. And right over here, on the back of that book, I see America the Beautiful. 2 clocks. Alongside it is one of the 2 clocks. There's our second clock, right there. An oil can. Oil can! Oil can! Ancient Garfield, that's interesting. A scale, a typewriter, a camera. There's the scale, pretty simple. It was right above the sign. There's the camera. Camera's right there. 2324, a locked drawer, an opal sample, and a green suitcase. There's a locked drawer. That little sign says, keep this drawer locked. I'll bet that's the opal sample right there. What do you think? And down below, we have our green suitcase. I'm going to leave it up to you. We need to find 2324, an oil can, and an ancient Garfield. One more look around the room, and we're off. I don't see any of those things. There's 2324, right on the side there. There's some ancient stuff on that shelf. Maybe somewhere I see it. I see the ancient Garfield. I still can't find that oil can. Do you see it? There's some bones. And there's the oil can. With your help, we did it all. A little boy came up behind me. He was maybe 4 years old. What's he doing? So I had to set him straight and tell him all the things that he could have fun finding. There's the old man cactus. He does look like an old man too. An old furry fuzzy man. Look at that. It looks almost like a dinosaur. And this looks like a cactus tree. Quite interesting. Agave. Dun 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 dun. Tequila. Am I allowed to sing that? That's a copyrighted song. Now that is interesting. It says here the queen agave bloomed during the summer and then it dies. But they saved the seeds, so they're going to plant some more. Like this one. That's the circle of life. I think I see some old man cactus back there. And now we find ourselves in South America, where we're going to be guests of Old Man of the Andes. It said the dove are crossing here. I saw them flying around, but I don't know where they are right now. Is that them up there? Will you look at the size of this desert candle? Wow. That's got to be at least 25 feet tall. So very interesting the way these things grow. It's a bearded dragon. Never having lived in desert regions, I'm really surprised at how big these cactus can grow. They are enormous. And here's a crown of thorns. I was wondering what happened to that other shoe. And there's some more of that cattle. We're going to head to Madagascar. It looks like there are desert regions the world over. There's so much stuff you find out just having fun at places like this. At first I thought that was a real tortoise. You never know in a place like this. They have fish, birds, frogs. Why not a tortoise? Okay, I'm starting to like these. We'll wait for the light to come on. There it goes.
Deserts are anything but deserted. Deserts receive less than 10 inches of rain or snow a year. To survive, the plants and animals must store water, called succulents. But don't touch. The spines hurt and some plants are toxic.
I had to stop. My arm was getting tired. I feel like when I show that, there should be dramatic, majestic music, like I just found an oasis in the desert. That kid is screaming. Wonderful place to hear your own echo. But let's head to the third dome. What's left? We have the tropics, we have the desert. The next one is the floral dome. It's constantly changing. So let's go have a look. They have a train. You know how much I love that little train at Epcot. And look at that. They have landmarks of Milwaukee. There's Schlitz Brewery, or a building with Schlitz on it, and the Oriental Theater. And there's an old-time train. Look at that, more Milwaukee products as we see Old Milwaukee, Blatz, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Schlitz, Potosi, Waukesha Beer, Miller High Life, Pabst, and more recently, Coors. Now that is a pretty clever way to promote and advertise local products. And you see there, that represents, I believe, the Hone Bridge downtown. We probably won't see that this trip because we'll be heading in the opposite direction. There is the new Bucks Arena. And over there on the shores of Lake Michigan, we see the Milwaukee Art Museum with the Calatrava design up front. Even that is a local Milwaukee landmark. And right there is the Summerfest stage, Milwaukee's giant music festival. Leon's Frozen Custard. So many Milwaukee icons. This is really fun. And that represents the very domes that we're in. There's the tropics, the desert, and of course the show dome. And there's a gazebo right behind me. And right there is the train station. I didn't know what to expect here. As I said, this is always changing, and it's nice to see an homage to our local icons. I think I'll sit down and take it all in. There's the marina. Everything here represents Milwaukee. Now that I think about it, when I was a little kid, there used to be an old steam engine down by the lakefront called Old Smoky, and it looks an awful lot like the one that's going around on the track. I wonder if that's what it's supposed to represent. You know, for us old-timers that remember those things. But this is a botanical center, and they haven't neglected the plants. And there's the third ward. One of these days I'm going to take you down to the third ward. Lots of interesting stuff down there. It's on the southern end of the city. There's a public market. That's down by the third ward. Looks like at one time they must have sold paving bricks as a fundraiser. There's not a lot of them. I wish I had known about that. That's something I may have been interested in. I'll bet you that it was used for weddings when it's in full bloom. And here's another view. Let's look at some more icons. I think I see my old neighborhood down there. I grew up near the Wisconsin State Fair Park, and that represents it. Don't you love these old street lights? They're very cool. I'm heading out of the third dome, but there's more. There's a gift shop, and I believe there's an annex here. Let's head to the gift shop. It looks like you can buy a lot of live potted plants. Let's see, it looks like these t-shirts are $20 each. And you can even buy orchids. You can get a hat for $16. And here are the postcards. I'll have to get a couple of these for my Patreon sponsors. Oh, I think I'll get this one. That is really a fun one. Oh, that's a bookmark. You know, I always like a sticker for my luggage. There are some train-related souvenirs. Look at that, you can get wooden train whistles. Rocks and gems and fossils. Books for the kids, as well as books for the adults. And even full-size posters. A gift shop isn't a gift shop without a shot glass. Now this one says Domes, $4.50. I think that is the cheapest shot glass souvenir I have ever come across. Glasses and mugs and spoons. That is really a nice gift shop. Small. A nice variety of items. Got a little bit of change, so we'll drop that in here. I just felt I had to come back to the tropical dome and say goodbye. This way you can show all your friends what Wisconsin looks like in January. I really had a good time. I hope you did too. Please like and share the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe and give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to click that bell icon up above. And if you're of the mindset, you might want to become a Patreon sponsor. $3 monthly sponsors get postcards from me when I'm on the road. Thanks for joining me, everybody, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm Mark with the Average Me channel.